says, "You're all mine." Hello, I started as Shels Honeysuckle at LTACM. Let's talk about the music. I'm here to share my journey with my trio family and maybe speak something in to help you start reinventing yourself too. And my journey began back in 2012 when I ran into a friend of mine about how rough my life was. He gave me advice that flipped the switch. You can stay a victim or reinvent yourself. Everyone does it. I had never heard those words before. I started wondering, how do you reinvent yourself? At first, I followed him around like a shadow, trying to figure it out. That wasn't so hard because Eric Poe, he was also a 9-foot giant known as Wu Tom the Fairy Smasher, and I was just a standing 4'11" Pixi. And I always wanted to be self-employed because of my mental health. I lived high anxiety and didn't really want to feel a burden when I had my panic attacks. So I started with graphic design. Then a creativity spark knocked on my door as LCATM was talking the music. I started building it in 2015 and gained momentum in 2016. I dragged my feet at first, didn't know what I was doing, but a friend told me, just start, just figure it out. He did. And I did. The podcast took off, something I never expected, as someone I juggled it out as I went, figured out as I went. But I got tough with my original style. I wanted to turn the podcast into a full radio station. I asked over and over, are you sure? They're like, sure. Because I was the only one who had the radio experience. Their answer, sure, how hard could it be? Turns out it can be really, really hard. After 4 years of pushing to keep the podcast alive in the radio station building, I was burnt out. I couldn't keep a roof over my head. My anxiety spiraled. I was trying to hold on everything together for my cast, my staff, my show. I was supposed to leave, but I didn't know how. So I called up Tom Crosby of the old KGRG, pitched him my idea. But the moment I said I wanted to build a community-based radio station for independent musicians, he stopped and said, "You need a scholarship." I went, what? Then everyone did. Blah. 3 years later, I learned from Tom, then John, and I was monitored by Ryan Castle at KSW, then the music master team, then lastly, the late Kevin Diaz at Atlanta Local, and finally, especially, big thanks to Jeffrey McMahon. They taught all of me who had paid to run a radio station, a GM, PD, sales, IT, HR, and so many hats. I ended up building a long-lasting radio program for a KGRG, W3 station, KGRG, KGRG1, and LTATM. It was the hardest thing I ever done, and I was working on my mental health at the same time in 2019. I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and a very extreme anxiety attacks. I had to find out a special therapist to help me rewire my thinking. After KGRG, I did not know how to turn everything into a business, so Tom told me to get my business degree. One of his business instructors told me something I'd never forget. There are 4 pillars that held up the door to help build your house: shelter, food, income, and health. You are the house. If one of those pillars are off balance, then the whole thing wobbles. Fix the foundation, you'll be okay. That stuck with me. As a 100% right-handed brain critic working towards a business degree, just been a challenge. I would rather draw you a picture than try to do this as a profit or a business. I made it work, and I earned my business management degree. After 4 years with KGRG, proud of the last program of its history. Soon after that, I accepted a trio, being part of an amazing family that helped me with the start of the 3-year college. And without the advisors and the tutors, especially Anna, Debbie, Devin, Sean Warner, my wife had a potential aid office, I would not be standing here right now. That will be true. I almost dropped out because of business math and accounting. I took it twice. Those are not enough wine in the world to battle both those math problems. Seriously, oh my God. But I kept going. Today, my business plan is complete. My trademark lawyer has the hands. I have an editor. I'm entering a young blogger who's a promising brilliant writer. When I finished building their own radio station, I poured $8,000 into it. The money I could have put a roof over my head, but because I was homeless building it, I believe in it, even when people call me a fraud, a liar, and worse. They never saw it built, but I did it. They didn't want to see it. After being bullied and shut it down, I started working with Jeffrey McMahon to help me to redevelop the LT 18 list of music on October 24th. I managed to finally encourage myself to become a solo host. Now I'm getting ready to take the podcast on the road with my cast of living the van life dream. So what's my message to you? Don't give up. Don't give up. Show the haters that you've made it. Prove them wrong, and those who believe in you, keep growing. Do the impossible. As of today, and on June 18th, 2005, I stand here officially reinventing myself. I earned a degree. In September, I'm heading to Central Washington University. Hello again. I am now known as Shels, Pixi,